All right, so let's try that again. Hey, everybody. Welcome to TMC Live, the victorious return of this show, now with less mittens and more elixir. Welcome aboard.
A pale shadow.
Yeah, yes. A pale shadow. Well, you are pale. I think, so for this show, we're basically just going to be tackling the gaming industry, tech industry, whatever we kind of want to talk about. But first, let's find out what everyone's been up to. Let's start with Elixir the Diva. How are you doing? How's your week?
It's pronounced Diva.
Diva, sorry.
Yes. Elixir Diva. That's my last name in Eve, as everyone knows. My week's been good. I cracked open Elite Dangerous for the first time, which was a pretty insane experience, honestly. I have not been paying attention at all to the whole Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous spaceship games thing at all, and kind of blew me away, honestly. And it really interfaced well with the track IR that I have, and I'm just plugging myself. I have a track IR, but
can you show it?
Can you show it? Put it on. I really like the way it looks. It's really stylish.
People who are listening to this
in another room right now.
It's a lot more stylish than the Google Glass.
Instruments coming off right here. Yeah.
So the people who listen to this in podcast form, they won't get the hand gestures and stuff. So if you could just walk us through what you think you look like wearing a track IR.
That's good.
Okay. Think of RoboCop, but not wearing the helmet. You can see all of his face, and he's not covered in any armor.
So not RoboCop.
Yeah.
And he never says you must comply.
I'm not done yet.
Okay, sorry.
So, RoboCop,
it
no
just
helmet,
says please comply.
No armor. He's wearing some headphones. They're nice headphones. And you got a track IR sort of strapped to the side of the headphones. And RoboCop's playing video games. There you go.
That was probably the worst description of track IR I've ever heard in my life. So I actually don't know a whole lot about track IR. I didn't see it until we were testing for this train wreck yesterday. It actually looks like kind of like dental headgear off to the side of your face. And it's got like 3 lights, right? Like in a curve.
It looks like a fiber optic camera. Like the tail end of a fiber optic camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm usually having one of those shoved up my urethra when I see one of those. So the perspective's
turn this off.
Perspective's a little off.
How far did
We're going to talk about ISIS and the Poke, guys.
I have had one shoved up my nose. I was joking about the urethra. That's a part of your nether regions.
We made it like 3 minutes into this podcast.
Sorry about that.
Show thing that we're doing.
Go ahead. You were describing the thing.
Yeah. Track IRs. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's got like these 3 lights. It does look like fiber optic camera lights, like off to the side of your face, and I guess it requires a webcam, right?
Yeah, I have. Can we see this little thing on top of my monitor?
Looks like a GoPro.
Right front and center.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just receives the signal basically. Basically looks like a webcam, but if I look left, it'll turn the view in game left on a curve. So the further I look left, the faster I'm moving left, basically. So I can still keep my eyes on the screen.
Yeah, why do you have to turn your head, but the monitor doesn't turn? Doesn't that fuck you up?
I haven't.
Like if I look left, my monitor doesn't turn left, so I'm just looking at my wall.
That's what he's just saying, though, is like if you turn like slightly, you can still see, but it compensates in the game, I assume, to make it look...
You move more in the game than you do in real life. So I can do this and look over my shoulder, and this look over my right shoulder.
That doesn't like mess with your brain, like there's no like input.
Oh, it fucks with your brain.
Do you ever fall down? Do you ever just fall down in your chair? Like, oh!
Fall out of your chair immediately.
The best time is when it spazzes out because you've forgotten it's running or you haven't set it up properly, and it's just you're trying to look at things, but it won't stay stable, so you're just waggling your head. The first day I used this,
you're gonna have a fucking stroke.
My fucking neck.
That's what this thing's gonna do.
Jesus, I have back problems.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
This type of shit should be like the FDA needs to get involved immediately, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so as well. I have to say, it doesn't sound like something that I'd ever do personally. It primarily because like I've played with the Oculus Rift, like both versions that have been out, and
that makes more sense to me. It moves with me.
Because Well, it moves with you, and you also have no sense of like a separate self kind of thing, where because you're in this box, right? Like you can't see anything.
The avatar's so real.
Right, and so when you're doing this action, like you're looking up at the ceiling and stuff, you don't realize how stupid you look when you're doing this.
I do, because I stood behind the Matani when he did it once.
Yeah, well, when you see other people do it, you're like, man, I don't really look like that, do I? But you do.
Imagine just a big headset with a little poof sticking out on the bottom. It's like a big giant. It's somebody put Robo Hipster on the streets.
Robo Hipster. That's what you want. So Oculus Rift is like actually like RoboCop without the lights, basically. Like if they just put some lights on that thing, you're basically RoboCop. But yeah, like you don't realize how silly you look because you're too focused on what's in front of your eyes, and you're actually like playing this game, and it's really amazing. Track IR is like this weird halfway step where it doesn't. I don't think I could do that. Like just looking at myself right now with my stupid mic, like this whole thing.
You're fashion conscious. You're like, thank God you're not Obama in a brown suit. I don't know how you'd live with yourself.
Oh boy, let's not get started on that.
Brown suit before Labor Day. What is wrong with this animal?
This guy clearly doesn't know fashion the way I do. So that's cool though. So how do you like Elite itself, the game? Like aside from the Track IR and stuff.
Well, I come as a complete Elite person who's never played the 80s version, never played the 90s version. I've never played Evil Mercenary. I've never played the X games.
Were you alive for any of those versions?
I was born in 87, so I missed the first one.
You did miss the first one. But I knew you were young.
But I genuinely like it. I think the thing that impressed me the most was the scale. Like you go to the galaxy map and you see that the beta is like a quarter of one sector near Earth, and you zoom out and you see that it's like procedurally generated the entire galaxy. It's insane.
You can't procedurally generate the real galaxy. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Like, like it's the real map, and then.
I'm so glad we have.
What a fucking coincidence! Saturn has rings again.
Thank God we got that right. Thank God.
But yeah, the soul system's in there.
But seriously though, it like how false is that sense of scale? Like how quickly does it take you to get across the universe? Like does it really take a lot? Like how fast are you going? Like how fast can you accelerate to? Because I've played Elite, but like for like maybe an hour, and I was doing tutorials and sucking like really badly. So like I never really got anywhere.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, the scale is so huge. I feel like, you know, jumping from system to system in hyperspace, it doesn't take long at all. It's like 10 seconds. So theoretically, I guess you could make a decent clip across the galaxy if you were just going in one direction. I think the limiter is going to be fuel, because the hyperspace system to system jumps, they consume like quite a bit. And the in-system sort of warp drive, or whatever you want to call it, there's a canonical name, but I don't remember what it is. But the high-speed in-system drive is pretty fuel-consumptive too. So I feel like
what do we use for fuel in the future?
They release it. Yes, gasoline, petroleum.
It's gasoline?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's gas.
I'm pretty sure it's people.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure of all the fueling possibilities, it should not be gas.
Well, it won't be gas. We're gonna run out by then. I'm not a scientist, so just disclaimer.
Now,
we may run out.
They say that they can do fracking on the moon, so in Elite Dangerous, you just pull up to a ConocoPhillips.
Are there dinosaurs on the moon? Like, I'm so confused right now. I don't understand.
Yeah, you can't get fossil fuels from a moon with no fossils.
Well, the moon was part of the Earth, so there were dinosaurs.
What the fuck are you talking
That's just
about?
Science.
Where did science?
Science.
What science had the moon ever being part of the Earth? This is delicious. Even I'm not this stupid. It's wonderful.
I can't. Okay.
So what did we feed the Earth? No. Did somebody feed the Earth after midnight and the moon popped off?
Could happen. Could happen. We don't know. We don't know what God's plan was, alright?
That made just as much sense as like the Native American story where like the sun was jealous of the moon and Earth and whatever it was. That Indian chick told it in Wolverine. I don't remember what it is.
That makes more sense. From the chat, the Moose Tetrino, who was co-piloting on Elixi's stream the other day,
yes, indeed.
Says that Elite's fuel is hydrocarbons.
Hydrocarbons. Is that not a fossil fuel? Oh no, that's like the water.
No, that's like a fucking like molecule of some kind.
Hydrogen carbon, maybe.
Yeah, like those.
You guys criticize me for not knowing science, and then you're like, "Oh, that's a fucking molecule."
We're not.
You're acting like
the moon.
You're acting like you pull up to the truck stop in your fucking hauler. Like, like we're a little. At least we're a step beyond that. You pull up to the truck stop and the moon falls off, and there you are.
So one last question about Elite, and then we'll move on. Is it instanced? Is it everybody is in the same place at the same time? Is it Eve? Is it like Guild Wars 2? What is it like in terms of interacting?
You know, it's sort of instanced. The way that the sort of online and solo play stuff interact is pretty interesting, and I don't fully understand it, but there's sort of a private groups type thing where you can have a universe that's just Redditors or just goons or whatever. But then you can also, which sounds like hell, but then there's also the public online, which is basically anyone who wants to play along is there. But your likelihood of actually seeing someone else in space, since space is so vast, you're pretty much only going to see them at stations entering or leaving. You know?
Bullshit! If like people ran into people all the time in Star Trek.
That's true.
And that's the realist space we have.
Alien species.
Yeah, and as far as I know, Star Trek is pretty accurate.
They have fucking whole things where you can see how big the thing is and what crystals they used and whatnot. I've seen books. People fucking people even wear the uniforms to jury duty and shit.
No, stop. That doesn't happen in the real world. That just doesn't happen. So let's. So that's cool. It sounds like you're having a good time with Elite.
I am.
You know, hopefully we'll see more from you on the site.
I want to ask a question.
Yeah. No, you're not allowed.
The shit. I forgot what my question was.
So bad at this.
When you were talking about the private public is not a big giant sandbox, is it? Because my understanding was that was not a direction they were going. Like, who's hosting the servers? How's the technical shit happening?
It's all regional. Like, when I wanted to play with the Moose Tetrino
So I gotta deal with fucking hippie Californians, basically, when I want to play? Like, how regional?
Pretty much. Like he had to use a VPN and go over to a Dallas server. So,
yeah, but I mean, what is it? Do you know what the regions are? Are they talking about what they are?
Yeah, do you select?
Can you choose which one you go to? Can I shoot people? Can I go to Russia and shoot them all and then go over to Dallas and be chill with everybody?
I think you can. I think it's hard to say right now since it's still pretty early in beta, but I'm pretty sure they'll allow you to choose your region. But again, I only started playing it 2 days ago. All I have are my initial impressions.
Yeah, no,
I'm guessing.
Okay.
I probably would have taken better notes.
Moose Tetrino says North America West, North America East, and Europe are the regions.
At least the people watching the stream know something about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Thank God we have. This is the whole reason we're streaming this. Actually,
this is for us to learn. It's what we call a reverse stream.
You guys are our content. That's cool. That sounds like a pretty good game. I really wish I could have more time to put into it. Do you have the whole like what's it called? What's the thing called?
HOTAS. HOTAS.
Yep.
Yes, I do.
Do you use that with the track IR and everything? Are you in a cockpit?
I'm all like Starship Pilot, yeah, that shit. But I have not used that with Elite Dangerous yet. I'm a big fan of it for like flight sims, like IL-2, Rise of Flight, stuff like that.
What are you flying with?
It takes a lot of practice to combine all of to remember all the buttons and get the throttle working. And honestly, the mouse is pretty good with flight sims.
You're flying with a mouse and keyboard?
Well, space sims like Free Space 2 and this.
Excuse me.
it genuinely works pretty well. The precision of the mouse, I am a total joystick evangelist. I love my Cytec, but it's really great, and it preserves a lot of the functionality. I can't complain, but I'll probably once I get my Cytec set up. Once I get it set up, I'll probably transition to that.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm gonna tell you a secret. The joysticks actually should look very similar to what the joystick in the cockpit looks like. So if you're completely virtualized, you should be able to, depending on what joystick you buy, have almost an identical setup with a HOTAS setup, if you have the right one, to what your cockpit actually looks like. So if you have a completely immersed, like a Rift setup, or even just on your monitor, you shouldn't have to look down at your joystick. You should be able to just look at what's on screen and see where the buttons are, because they should be in about the same place. That was my recollection from E3. I don't know what they might have changed since then. But
that's
the joysticks they were using at E3.
See it.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get away from endorsing a particular brand of joystick is the issue that I'm trying to dance around now. Like, I don't know that anything we said was in confidence. I don't recall, but the setups that they had at E3, like the button mappings, the controls in the cockpit were designed around the joysticks they were using at E3. So when you had the fucking Rift on, you didn't have to try and figure out where the buttons were. You could actually look in the cockpit, and the buttons on the joystick were exactly where they were, and it was that immersive. Like, that adds a whole nother fucking layer to what you're doing.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, that would be...
Except if we were in space, I probably would have pushed Matani out the airlock, and I couldn't do that. I was like, my fucking immersion is ruined.
Why? There's no way in the future some guy would have that goatee.
All of them have been eliminated by now.
Green people, yes, but
we use them as fuel. No. Yeah,
it is crossing the line. Blue skin's fine. This goatee, out the lock you go. So Darius, what have you been up to this week? How's your week been? You had time to play anything at all? You're a pretty busy guy.
Working, but I play. The only game I play nowadays is Diablo 3. That's it. That's all I got time for. I play it on both the PS4 and the PC. But I'm way more towards the PC right now. PS4 I think is a great piece of hardware, and I enjoy it, but I'm already established on the PC. And the real challenge they're running into on the Diablo 3 side is the fact that their release, because of the way, I don't know what anyone knows about releasing video games on consoles, but console releasing video games, there's a certification process you have to go through with either Microsoft or Sony. And when you develop a game for their console, you basically get to a point where you may not even know about PC video game development, but like if you're developing like an MMO or something in the PC world, you get to a point where you're like code freeze like, X number of days before you're actually going to push it out, and then when you want to push the button, you just push the fucking button, and it goes out to all the PCs, you push out the clients, and everything goes. In the console world, you actually get to a point where you freeze, and then it's like a whole month or whatever period of time where that code that can ne'er be touched again gets shipped off to Sony or shipped off to Microsoft, and they sit and they put it through their whole certification process and QA process, and then that gets a stamp on it, and then only that code is allowed to execute on that machine, and that's what gets pushed out to the consoles. So there's going to be a big lag between the feature set on the PC side and the PS4 side, and it just seems like right now, from my perspective at least, the PC side's getting the sexy features. We just got our first season. We have a ladder now. We got all the new 2.1 stuff, which has a lot more. But
haven't they stated that they want to get that cycle as close together as possible?
CCP said that as well. Like every company that's done anything online on the console has made that statement, and they've always acted when they've launched on that. I'm not saying Blizzard's lying, even purposefully or
it's kind of what you're saying. It's kind of what you're implying.
I'm just saying, I'm going to believe it when I see it. When somebody says they can sync a console release schedule, and it's not, it's not Blizzard's fault. That's the first party's fault, right? So, which is an insider term, by the way. The fucking it's to Sony and Microsoft to allow that type of release schedule that has nothing to do with Blizzard. Blizzard has the code; they're ready to go. If they want to sync up their release schedules, they can. It's the certification process that adds the time. And unless they're willing to start cutting corners with the certification process or find a way to get that in sync, or actually play kind of a fucking mirror game and actually slow down the PC release, and so that what ends up happening is kind of a bizarro world where the PC release is in sync with the console release. The PC release is always going to be ahead of the console because you don't have another party deciding what you can or can't release there.
Right.
So their stated goal was to get closer to that, and they did the whole thing every company's ever done when they release on a console and go, our partnership is great. We think things are a lot less onerous than we thought they'd be, and we think we can patch up release good. But nobody's done it yet, so until I see that happen, I'm not going to say it's... I'm not going to guess at what they might have been thinking when they made that very forward-reaching statement.
I mean, I think if any company can have any kind of leverage to really kind of get close to that, not necessarily synced up. I don't think that's what they said. I think they said they want to get it as close as possible. But I think if any company is able to really leverage that in a way that matters with the console makers, with Microsoft and Sony, it might be them. I don't know. I'm hoping
that world is a funny world.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it gets close together. Like right now, so I'm in a weird spot where I'm playing Diablo 3 as well, and I've been looking forward to the console release of Diablo 3 for ages, since BlizzCon last year. So since November, I got to play a Crusader on the PlayStation 4, and that thing was amazing. And so that's what I've been waiting for. And it finally comes out, and I'm like, wow, this is great. The game is so different on PlayStation 4, by the way, between PC and PlayStation 4. Like it's Darius said the other day, like it's almost like they're different games. Like they're significantly different, just the way you move and control. And
some of that does have to do with the patch difference is part of the issue, but like it is very much
before the patch though, and that's what I was going to get at.
And when they were in sync, basically, yeah.
Right, when they were in sync, it's still there's a noticeable difference in the way that these two games play, or in the way this one game plays on two different platforms. But the thing that kind of killed it for me was patch 2.1. Like that came out and it looked super cool. Like there's seasons and like all this stuff to do, and so I hadn't upgraded to Reaper of Souls on PC. I just had regular Diablo, and I was only reaping.
I don't even know what you would reap other than so.
I thought I was going
to say something clever and nothing came out. I was expecting my brain to compensate.
That's fine.
You usually deliver, and it didn't.
So I was only playing the vanilla game. Like I only played it when it came out for a little bit. Like I beat the game once, like on normal or whatever. Like it didn't matter. But since then all this stuff is coming out, so I really wanted patch 2.1. And I wanted it now, so I ended up getting upgrading my PC version of Diablo 3 as well, and have been playing that too. And it's really kind of disconcerting because like I'll switch back and forth. Like I'll play on my computer and then I'll go sit in the living room for a bit and I'll play my PlayStation 4 version of the game, and there's just like this really weird disconnect. Like if you're playing both versions of that game, it's
let me give you a bit of advice that I needed for every game I've ever played like this, from Diablo to fucking World of Warcraft to whatever. Don't touch another fucking thing. Pick one, get to 70, get to the end game, sort out what you need to do. From that point forward, everything kind of flows or whatever. But what I've always ended up being is kind of an altaholic, where I have like fucking 17 like level 15 characters, which it sounds like where you're at now. You're like, yeah, your highest character is like a 54 Crusader or whatever. Yep. Get up there, get to 70, and experience the end game, and then figure out whether that's what you want to do with anything else. Like now, I have a 90 of every class in World of War. So I have 12 90s in World of Warcraft, and now I have.
That's. Can we just say Can we take a moment to dissect that statement?
That's something.
I
have a question, by the way.
What's that?
Okay.
What is the thing that actually bothers you the most? The difference between the PS4 and the PC version? Like, what is it that when you sit down and you play the PS4 version, you're like, something's not right. This is fucked up.
No, see, but if anything, it's the other way
Vanity
around.
cam actually
Really?
bothers me a little bit. I don't like the PS4 streaming, so I can't put my little camera down where I want it.
Well,
It hogs too
mean,
much of the screen, and it does it on my screen, so I'm downsampled instead of just the stream being down. There's a lot of niggling little issues as far as just streaming on the PS4.
Yeah, but I mean that's native to, that's just streaming, right? Like that's
Just saying they could do that.
it has
better.
nothing to do with the game. Like so my main thing is actually, if anything, I really prefer the PS4 version. It's more actiony. Like
Really?
you roll around and stuff, and you can't do that in the PC version. What makes me conflicted about it is the fact that I don't have as much time in my day to just sit in my living room. I would prefer to be sitting in my living room playing this game, but I don't necessarily have that time or availability, so I end up playing on my computer more, I think, at this point.
Are you admitting to playing video games at work right here, right now, on stream?
No. I'm talking about the...
Wow.
Shut up.
That is.
That's all I got. Yeah. So I have a lot more time to be on the computer when I'm home. To be
When you're
clear,
at home.
when I'm home, because I'm working on this wonderful website of ours, and
That's it. Okay.
and I have a lot of work to do.
Now it's a fucking team project, huh?
yes.
Is this? Now it's a
Absolutely.
team fucking project? Or...
Now it is. That is correct, sir. But yeah, no. So if anything, I prefer the PS4 version. But the thing I was going to say is, you're saying to pick one and experience the end game and get to it. So I was like, okay, well, I have more time on the PC. I'll pick the PC version. But then what the fuck do I do? Because now there's seasons. Do I make a season character? Do I finish my normal character and get to 70 and experience some shit?
I'll tell you what you do.
What?
You fucking pick one. It doesn't matter which one it is.
That's
Pick
the
one.
thing. There's too many options. I don't know what
Like
to
if I was
do,
gonna do it
man.
right
Like,
now, I would just do a season. But I've got a 70 of every class, and I'll power level you. It takes an hour and a half.
You keep saying that. It's like,
And then you
empty
never say,
promises.
"Let's play." You're the one that doesn't
You're-
show up.
You are basically the
I'm
Matani.
playing every night. I'm just like do. And if you fucking showed up, I'd be like, "Oh hey, bro, come on
Because
in."
you play until like 2 in the morning. Nobody.
No, I never play.
Has
I
that
almost don't.
schedule.
I'm almost never awake that late anymore. I'm an older, wiser. I'm actually about to shift so that I go into work at like 7 in the morning. That's my thing now. I'm turning into an adult. Yeah, I'm basically fucking 100 years old, like Master Shredder. I'm 5,000 years old.
Early bird specials every day.
Well, it's funny because this last week, actually, I started doing the same. I started actually getting up at like 5:36 in the morning and getting into work well before 8. And it's pretty amazing, like how much more you can do at work earlier in the morning. I don't know if that.
My problem is that I have to sync up with the other side of the ocean. So
Right.
like,
So earlier is better for you because like that's the middle.
that
of
gives
your
me
day.
more time with Scotland, and then the other office I deal with is New York, and then so most of what I do right now is like I get in and I try to rush to get all my EU work done, and then shift over to New York, get as much time as I can in with them, and then I'll do my work at the end of the day, like on Western time, and I'll just be like, "Fuck, I need somebody," and they're not there. Yeah.
So Packet Creeper wants to know, you might be 5,000 years old, but do you even lift?
Is
Do you-
lifting happening?
Do you lift?
Of course. I have we have a CrossFit gym in the office, man. Don't I look fitter than the last time you saw me? I have
You can't
a
be
tough neck.
you can't possibly be doing CrossFit though because you haven't said you didn't introduce yourself on this stream as
Something
hi, I'm
stuttering.
Darius. What?
Something on my computer is
We're in
stuttering.
every-
Just
there
keep
we
going.
go.
We're in the-
I'm performance monitoring. Just stop.
Okay. You didn't introduce yourself as I am Darius Johnson and I do CrossFit. So like,
I didn't
obviously-
introduce myself at all. You didn't let me. You were too busy talking.
You said you didn't want to do introductions. What the fuck, man?
My bad. Nah,
why are you throwing me under the fucking bus?
You were the one that was just. You
right,
decided you wanted to be in charge, and
you played Diablo 3. That's your whole life. That's been your whole life for some time.
Playing Diablo 3, eating delicious food, raising 2 fine children. You know, things responsible adults do.
Like how we do the. How much I agree with any of this coming out of your mouth right now, but
it's not worth fighting him on this.
There's people out there who buy prostitutes and do all kinds of nasty things.
Wow,
I'm not involved in that.
None
of that drug culture or any of that.
That went to a pretty shitty place there.
That's what happens, dude. It's 1 second you're like a dad and you're raising your kids or whatever, and the next second you're divorced and you're buying prostitutes and you live in a hotel. It's a very it's a steep, slippery slope.
Slipperiest.
I don't like the world that you live in.
I don't live in that world. I'm a happy fucking dad. What are you talking about? Just watch a couple episodes of The Wire or Oz, and then maybe you'll see where my mind goes.
West Coast decadence, eroding family values.
This is what it is. Yeah, it's like, ooh, somebody didn't trim their palm tree. It's like the neighborhood's going to shit.
Look at you can see the shit that they have in their backyard. Their fence is closed. I'm gonna contact the HOA immediately. Yeah, so I mean, that's it. You just play Diablo 3. That's all you play.
For the most part, I'm waiting for, secret plug, GTA 5 on next gen.
Do you know what I'm waiting for?
I can't wait to play the sellingest video game of all time on a much upgraded platform.
Destiny, you can't.
Destiny,
wait to play
I pre-ordered Destiny as well. I did throw the money down for that.
I am waiting.
I
for
played
that.
some of it and we had fun actually. I don't know if we didn't know how to stream it. Did I? Yeah, we didn't know how to stream it.
I don't think we streamed it. I think I recorded it.
But it was really fucking good. It was fun. We had a lot of fun.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, I have a bit of a dilemma when that comes out because NHL 15 comes out the same day or like the next day or whatever.
That's okay because more people literally watch people in real life shoot space aliens than play hockey. So, so if it's a popularity contest,
two ends of the pendulum.
It's not a popularity contest. It is purely an internal dilemma that I have because the NHL 15 demo came out, so that's what I've been playing. Aside from Diablo 3 is the demo, and I have to say, like the next gen graphics, like everyone wants to talk about next gen, but they're pretty fucking sweet. Like they're spot on with the arenas. They have like a live video introduction from like
for NHL.
Yeah,
you can see every puck on the puck. What do you even see? Like,
well, no.
when I describe another game, let me take a step back. I'll be like, it's so realistic. You can see every pore on his face, but I don't know what you would do from a hockey perspective.
Yes,
this is the problem.
You can see every ice on the ice.
I fucking hate you.
I just don't know. I don't know how I would describe how realistic a hockey game is.
So,
it's just like being in Canada where they actually watch this shit.
So hockey is played by real people. So the thing is, the graphics are so real. Shut up, you fucking.
Is it realer than real life? Wasn't that what they used to say about Eve?
No, it's not Eve, unfortunately. But no. So the statement that like the graphics are so good you can see every pore on their face, it has some merit in NHL 15. So like an issue in the past was every player. When you're playing the game, when it's not like a cutscene or whatever, like when you're playing the game, every player looks the same, basically. Like it's the same face, it's the same haircut, it's the same.
Sound very real.
Right, exactly. I know you're being kind of a dick right now, but
no, I'm saying that's terrible. That ruins my hockey immersion.
So every person kind of looked the same. Now that's not the case. Like they're motion captured, like all their faces. They're pretty well rendered. What we can see so far in the demo, anyways, things are pretty on point.
Have you ever been motion captured?
I knew. I knew.
This is coming up.
I knew as soon
You
as
shouldn't
I
have mentioned it, man.
As soon as I said that phrase, I was like, God.
All right, go ahead. So everyone's been motion captured. So it really looks like
Yes, I have
some
been
Russian
motion
guy.
captured. So suck it. You are not
I was
special.
All right.
Anyways,
Kong.
the puck physics. I mean, they make a big deal about this stuff, and it sounds really silly if you don't fucking care about hockey. But realistically, like, it makes a difference in the game. It makes it plays completely differently. Like the upgrades are actually showing through to be pretty good. A lot of people are down on this iteration of NHL because it's their first entry into the next gen space. Like, they didn't have a next gen game last year, so this is their first on the PS4 and Xbox One. And they've dropped some features in order to get some stuff out, as you do with these annual franchises. And some people are upset about this, but they're like the least played features ever. It's like GM Connected or whatever. Like, 10 people played that. You think not a lot of people watch hockey?
All I care about is puck physics. We've got a whole room of puck scientists.
Puck physics.
You know what?
I am Dr. Schmidt. I am a puck expert.
I don't make fun of your obsession over your stupid fish tank, so why don't you fucking
I'm
cut
sorry,
me a
I'm
break
making
here?
life. That's a coral reef. More people...
You're not making shit. You filled up a bucket with water.
I made that reef, my friend. I made that reef. It cost me $600.
Anyways, I'm really excited about NHL 15. It's not really a dilemma, though. Like, when Destiny comes out, that's basically going to be my life. I really enjoyed the beta and even the alpha before that. And basically, Diablo 3 is kind of filling a role of just kind of keeping me occupied until that takes place, until I can play Destiny. And then I'll probably never play that fucking game again. So
do you think it's your destiny?
How long were you holding on to that?
I just came out. It's spontaneous.
Are you sure? Because
like, as soon as it popped into my head, I cut you off.
I saw your face like 10 minutes ago. You're like,
You were smirking.
Well, no, I'm always smirking. It's always going.
I know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I pick and choose when to cut in, but no, that one just gave birth right then.
Okay, that's good.
I don't even remember what I was smirking about a while back. Probably the puck physics.
Fuck you, puck physics are
Puck
important.
physics is wonderful. I can't
That's more of the game, man.
We've got puck scientists analyzing puck physics. Just a guy.
You got a puck wind tunnel.
They
It's all
just
set up.
they have to find wild pucks to tag them so they can see where they go to mate and follow their patterns.
Listen,
Fucking puck physics. Where do pucks come from? I don't know, Doctor. Let's get to the bottom of this. We must capture them.
Stupid idiot. Suck. Alright, so let's talk about the news. We're going to talk about some news. So, just this last week, it turns out that Amazon has bought us all. Amazon owns us right now. We are doing Amazon's good work. Twitch was bought by Amazon for, what was it, $970 million in cash, 970, just under $1 billion. That was the rumored sale price for
Was
Twitch.
Twitch public?
No.
All right.
I don't think so. They were negotiating directly with Amazon and Google.
No. I mean, were they publicly traded? Meaning,
No,
were
they're
their
not- they're not
financials
publicly
available?
traded.
Yeah. So we don't even. For all we know, this is a company that was just in the shitter, and Amazon just decided to throw a pile of money at them for nothing.
By the way, thank you, Twitch. We love being a Twitch partner. You're the best.
I'm really
whatever.
super excited about the future.
Facts are facts, dude. I'm not shitting on them. I'm not saying they're Hitler or anything. I'm just like, hey. Twitchler, though, does sound very...
So the interesting thing about this story was actually the fact that there had been rumors twice. There's two different cycles of rumors just this year that Twitch was being bought by Google. And it turns out that Google did not buy Twitch because of antitrust concerns. Because obviously Google owns YouTube, and adding Twitch to that empire, I guess, was seen as something that might draw some attention. So Amazon kind of came in, and
That's a cop-out, by the way.
Sure, I mean,
you don't ever go out of your way not to, like, I don't know. It's a weird... the way it was expressed was kind of weird to me.
Right. That's the other part of the story, is like the nature of the story itself, like how it came out, how it came to be, was kind of, I want to say, like blindsiding. Like a lot of people didn't really see this happening. Like Amazon was not mentioned ever as somebody who's interested in doing this, even though, I mean, and even when you look at it, like what's Amazon going to do with Twitch?
Well, they do have their Amazon Prime thing. They're really trying to kickstart their video streaming. Google was rumored for months and months and months. You know, YouTube's going to buy it, YouTube's going to buy it, YouTube's going to buy it. But I'm guessing that was just an extended period of negotiation that didn't work out because Twitch wasn't willing to cave so far.
Here's what happened. Google was actually going to pay them what they were worth. This is my guess. Google was actually going to pay them what they were worth. Amazon sees Google as a competitor because at the end of the day, all the 5 or 6 mega corporate. I'm not going to be Ron Paul, but there are a number of.
No, you basically are Ron Paul. Right now. So just continue.
Here I am in my whimsical jalopy, about to tell you how to destroy the Fed. But
when's your presidential campaign launch? When's your pack?
The free market. But at the end of the day, my guess would be that there's no way Google would have overpaid the way Amazon did for Twitch. Twitch ain't worth $1 billion. The last company that tried to be Twitch, who was better than Twitch at it, just collapsed on itself because it couldn't make money. So Twitch, like, nobody knows what their financials are like, which is why I asked earlier, except for the people who would have wanted to buy them. And my guess, if I'm going to put on my internet psychic hat, is that Google wanted to pay less. Antitrust concerns do come into play, but being a monopoly is not necessarily a bad thing, and if you're Google, you're not necessarily scared of getting into that space. Amazon wants to be a competitor of Google's so badly because at the end of the day, all of these companies, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, are consolidating and trying to be everything to everyone, that they need to have something else to compete with Google on. So they would have been willing to overpay just to get into Google's space. And my thought is that they're really looking to make more of a play at what YouTube's doing. And the reason you saw the whole bullshit with the commercial music thing happen is because that was Amazon's, I would imagine it was Amazon's requirement from their legal department to remove an area of risk in going into the YouTube space in the first place. Because that happened on the YouTube side as a settlement with the United States government.
Let's be clear here, like the whole Audible Magic thing, which is the content ID but for Twitch, is obviously not bullshit. Like everybody is entitled to their copyrights, and we should probably not be making money off of other people's copyrights. That disclaimer out of the way, it was pretty obvious like a couple weeks, was it 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, when Audible Magic, yeah, I think it was a couple. When Audible Magic was deployed, more or less, that a sale was imminent. Like, I don't think...
Well, the Twitch CEO came out and said, whoops, we fucked up, we shouldn't have done this. But we can't backtrack
well, that was because of the issues with Audible Magic. So, like, it was picking up crowd noise at the invitational for Dota 2 as, like, copywritten music. Like, you can't... it's a fucking crowd. You can't...
I'm not tooting my own...
Play it fast.
I'm not trying to
toot... They were trying to get a sale.
Not trying to toot my horn or be that guy. I've worked at a lot of big companies, some of whom have had antitrust concerns. This... When I saw it, and then I saw the purchase, it totally reeks of due diligence from the legal department for a purchase. They were just like, YouTube does this, we do this, this is our risk. They saw the lack of that as a risk and said, in order to complete this sale, that risk needs to not exist anymore. And that's all that was. That was a bunch of lawyers saying that problem needs to go away before we will make the purchase for an inflated amount of money that's just ridiculous. Because holy fuck, $1 billion for this is kind of...
Well, how much was Oculus Rift bought for? I forget.
Another stupid amount of it. Silicon Valley's so fucking dumb. We spend so much dumb money on bullshit.
I need to look that up. But so the other thing, tech-wise, that's on the horizon is...
I'm not done bitching about Twitch. Hold on. I want to step in on the Twitch conversation.
Stop. Stop with Twitch.
I'm usually I'm
It's just like
I'm a
beating a
starch
dead horse
I'm a
that's
starch
already been turned.
defender
It's
of the
like being
copyright
blue.
thing. Well, I just want to make one statement, and that is that I'm normally known as a starch defender on the side of the copyright holder, but in this particular case, my problem with the way the system works was because basically, here's why I'm mad. I'm being a fucking big giant baby because the stupid Twitch video I did last night is completely devoid of sound right now. Because I had some copyrighted music on it, of course.
Let's have the truth out.
But the problem here is the problem that this creates is you don't really want to do a stream without music playing. The beautiful dulcet tones that you're listening to right now, this super cool music that you can't sing along to because you've never heard it before, is what's known as royalty-free music, which you can basically play in a fucking elevator for like $5 a month or whatever. And this is the alternative to listening to really cool shit like Bon Jovi when I'm playing a fucking stream. And the problem is that if I wanted to license fucking Bon Jovi, there's no fucking way for me to do it. So the problem with what happened with YouTube and Twitch and everything isn't that copyright holders shouldn't be able to maintain their copyright. It's that nobody stepped up and offered a way for us to actually do this legitimately. So the problem that I have with the whole fucking thing is, if you're going to step in and slap your dick on the table and say, you must obey me, I am the law, we need to not do this anymore, then can somebody please come up with a fucking business model that lets me pay $20 a month so I can stream whatever the fuck I want? That's all. That's all I want. I just want to be able to pay. I just want to be able to pay a fee and use some music. That's all. Just can somebody fucking do that? Because I researched it. It doesn't exist. This is what you get. This is what you can buy. You can't buy Bon Jovi. If I wanted to stream Bon Jovi right now, I can't do it. There's no way. I have to go and try and negotiate contracts like I'm fucking a radio station.
What a
First,
travesty.
why would you want to stream Bon Jovi? Second,
you're too young to even understand what Bon Jovi is. You were still sitting in some kind of fucking pouch.
Let's stream some fucking U2. That'll be great.
I know how you worked. You just grew yesterday like a marsupial. You just kind of came out and squirmed up into a pouch and fed for like a month, and then came out fully grown.
There is a pouch on the floor. I was wondering about that.
That's what happened.
I'm sorry that we're not all so old and East Coast as you to appreciate Bon Jovi the way that you do.
Name any musician. You can't get any of their fucking music. Like, there is no one for you to negotiate with. There is no service for you to buy. There is nothing for you to do. It does not exist. So that you can continue to play good music while you stream.
So that's the one thing, though, is that I'm curious about the future of Twitch, more or less, is... and YouTube as well, because this applies to them as well, because YouTube has a royalty-free music library.
But it's garbage as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's royalty-free music sucks. Like, that's why it's royalty-free. Because
it's not bad.
90%
let me take a step back.
From the 19th century.
No, we're playing royalty music right now, and the quality of the music is very good. But I don't want to listen to this shit. I want to be singing. I want to be singing Awesome Mixtape Volume 1 from fucking, whatever that movie is. Yeah, like,
you're gonna be singing fucking Twisted Sister. Or I want
to play fucking Bowie on my stream. Nobody fucking gives a shit about the rest of this garbage. Like, if you tune in,
can we just you know what we should do at the end here is
play something that's not royalty free, so the whole thing gets muted and everyone loses.
Yes. That's the only way we have to destroy it.
If I sing it, do you think it'll get flagged? Like, if I'm an alligator.
No,
do you think that'll be enough?
Shut up.
Stop. You're gonna ruin everything.
We're not recording this locally.
It's a beautiful day.
No, shut.
Don't do fucking Bono, you idiot. He has his own police.
So, my question is, and this isn't really a question for anybody to answer. It's a rhetorical thing. So I just wonder how long it's going to take for some kind of small to intermediate size licensing entity to pop up to allow us.
Yeah, my thought is that it behooves Twitch to make this agreement actually, because then they have a leg up on YouTube, or it behooves Amazon, who already has agreement with the music companies, or it behooves, and this is where I was really thinking, it behooves the people making the video games. because I'm gonna. So like if I'm Blizzard, maybe I'm thinking right now I want to set up Blizzard Radio, right? And you can fucking, so when you're streaming Blizzard games, that's the audio that comes through it, and we'll pick and choose who we license. We can pick up incomers or whatever. Yeah, like if you're a game that is streamed, like League of Legends is an even better example, or you know, like I'm sure and here's what I really worry about is like the GTA 5 radio. Like when you're rolling around, those are all commercial tunes. Do those get filtered? Do we have rebroadcast rights for those? And is that going to be negotiated? Like, well, shit. Anyway, in real situations like that, in real situations like that, like that's where real leadership opportunities come in, and it's to the. As a dude who just streams, I'm kind of fucked in trying to sort out how I can put like music that I want to play on my stream. But it's these companies all have the power to kind of negotiate and make that shit happen. And instead of just throwing it out there and going, it's the other guy's problem, like the dude who spends the time to solidify that is going to be the dude who capitalizes on that, because they're going to be the thing. If you think music means nothing on a stream, you're out of your fucking mind. And if you're the game that provides that channel for that, you're the game that's going to be the fucking stream people are watching. You know, that's all there is to it. That's my.
I think there's a big opportunity for like Spotify or Pandora or someone to step in and be like, "Hey, if you pay for a Spotify subscription, you can get past the Audible magic. You can
pay an extra X number of bucks a month, like whatever it is. It can be more expensive. Yep. Nobody's saying we don't want to pay for it. Right now, there's just not a way to do it, and that's fucking retarded. As a security guy, like I've been in this industry a long time.
So I will say that like in terms of TMC, like our streams, like what we want to do with our streams, we absolutely would pay like a small premium in order to be able to stream the music that we want to stream. So like if it's Spotify or Pandora or a different service that pops up, that would definitely be an expense that I think a lot of streamers would be willing to fork out for. And it would just be considered the cost of doing business. It's just like anywhere else. Like you want to be able to do it legitimately. And the fact that all of this crackdown is happening with Content ID and Audible Magic and these different initiatives, without that money making opportunity, like it's sitting right there. Like people will pay for this. You may not make $1 billion off of it, but you can definitely make a viable business model out of this, and nobody's doing it, and that's what's kind of
maybe that weird. The financials don't work, but the financials don't work for the company that's already making the billions of dollars, like the record label or whatever. But that's fine. What Twitch and the middlemen are not recognizing is that it's in their best interest to negotiate that and to put they're the people who need to advocate for this. I don't think it's in the record label's interest to try and make this happen, or the negotiators' interest. I know a lot of people who are musicians. I can't even ask them for permission to use their shit because they're all signed to labels. The labels are the ones who do the negotiation. The people who benefit from this are Twitch.
That's always been the problem. That was the problem for a long time with the music industry in particular, was that industry is so screwed up in terms of like.
But it ain't gonna change.
Labels was
right.
Yeah.
And this is a problem. If I was at Twitch, this is a problem I would want to have solved a month ago.
But the thing is, like, they may not want to change, but the fact is, they have changed in the past. Like they
changed into pumpkin.
Well, iTunes is a thing now, right? Like you pay 99 cents a song. Like there's alternate methods.
We need Steve Jobs back. Zombie Steve Jobs.
Yes, please. If somebody can make that happen, that would be great. And then also, please credit us with the idea up until the moment that he bites somebody and we all.
I don't give a fuck who he bites. I'll still take credit.
Okay, Darius Johnson is willing to go all the way with this.
Above and beyond the Call of Duty.
I'm in charge of Twitch.
So the one other thing that I did want to mention, because we're coming up on the hour mark, the podcast is going to be about an hour long. If you're listening,
we got to like one topic.
I told you this is what I do. So I warned you in advance.
So what's going to happen here? Since this is the first episode, we're still working out some bugs in our format and stuff. What's going to happen here, though, is at the end of the news, typically we would start asking for emails. So if you are interested in being on the podcast and you want a question answered by us, please try not to address them to Darius Johnson because he'll just get angry and rant for like the entire podcast. But even if it is for him, whatever. We're not picky right now. Send it to staff@thematani.com with the subject line TMC Live. We don't have our own podcast like email set up quite yet, mainly because we are
a giant organization and it takes a long time to do things like this.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
We're an enterprise.
So for right now, email staff@thematani.com with TMC Live in the subject line with your question, comment, or concern, and we will be sure to read that and respond to you next week. The other thing that we want to get out there is the fact that this is going to be a weekly venture on our parts. It will be streamed live at 8:30 Pacific time every Saturday night, unless, I don't know, we get hit by cars or something, or I end up, dead because of something stupid that Darius did in the car.
I'll still do the stream. I'll just put a little fucking, like a heart shit. I'll put a
do
bouquet. I'll put a little bouquet like heart
Just
shit.
do it. Can you just make it a skull and crossbones, please? Like, just can you make it? Can you make it
Mark
cool, at
Scaris.
least? Can you make
Yeah,
it cool,
it'll be like it'll be like a bouquet in like whatever those comedy movies where it's like a bouquet of Uzis. Like when a thug dies. Yeah.
Yes.
I forget which movie it was. God damn it. No, that was The Wire. That was from The Wire, actually.
That's fine. Bouquet of Uzis is perfect, and I will accept that in my death. But yeah, so this is going to be a weekly thing every Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know. We're not going to convert that to any other time zone. Like, figure it out yourself. But 8:30 p.m. Pacific every Saturday on twitch.tv/thematani.com. Spell out the dot. If you're not familiar, just view the link that accompanies this podcast, I guess. Fucking no.
If you want, whatever, man. Do what you like.
The advantage to tuning in live to the show is that we do a little bit of pregame. So we'll probably play a game. We'll be playing like Diablo 3 or Destiny or whatever prior to the show starting. And we also do overtime. So right now we're wrapping up the podcast portion of this, but we will continue to talk about whatever else strikes our fancy for a little bit here, not too long. But yeah, so
I'm probably gonna pee, but I'll turn.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short break.
I'll turn the mic off this time.
And then we'll please. And then we'll be back. So I just wanted to get that in there. There is one other piece of news that I really did want to talk about because it affects me and Alechi. Actually, is Crusader Kings 2.
Ugly people are being euthanized.
You motherfucker.
You don't have to be such a fucking dick.
Now I gotta
Crusader Kings 2. Crusader Kings 2 has DLC coming out. It is Charlemagne. It is an earlier start date. You have the option to play Charles or his brother Carloman in that game. Crusader Kings 2, by the way, is the greatest game ever made. I'm pretty sure.
It is known.
It is known. Like, if you don't play Crusader Kings 2, you absolutely should. I'm very excited about this DLC. More so than I was for the last couple, I think. At least for the India one, I wasn't too interested in that.
You weren't excited about the old gods?
The old gods was probably.
I think that was the one before Raja's.
So if that's the case, then that's either the first or second best.
That was like the third, the third one back. The last one before that was the one Sons of Abraham, the one that added all the religious stuff for Jews.
Oh, the Jews and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So the last couple didn't.
You guys just say the Jews?
Yes, because we're talking about a historical
the Hebrew
game.
peoples.
No, it's Judaism is in the game.
Yes.
And it had flavor added to it and made it a little bit more viable to play. Which was cool and all. Same thing with India, like expanding the map and adding all those religions and stuff. Like, that's fine, but that's not what really...
Which religion would you say is the worst religion?
That's not a question that will ever be answered on this fucking show.
That's what I do. I'm like Barbara Walters. I ask the hard-hitting questions.
That's not a hard hit. That's a really.
What religion would you say?
Yeah, which one would you say is wrong?
Scientology.
There you go. See, easy answer.
So the thing is the last couple of DLC I wasn't so excited for. This one I definitely am though, because it gets us an even earlier start date. There's Visigoths in Spain and stuff. Like, this is getting into, like, I'm a big Roman history nerd, so
this is just a few hundred
plug
years
your
after the
cool
fall of the
podcast.
Russian Empire.
Yeah, okay, sure. I do also have another podcast that I do. It's called Roman Lives. It does every episode. Every episode is an autobiography or an audio
biography, because you've never been in Rome.
Audio biography, if you will allow me.
Let us allow him.
Of a significant person in Roman history, starting from the kingdom and going through the Principate and the late Empire into the Byzantine Empire, all the way up until 1453, when the Byzantine Empire falls and Rome is officially no more a sovereign state. But anyways, so I'm a big Roman history nerd, as you can tell if I'm doing this podcast on the side, and anything that gets us closer to that time period, I'm really happy for. And aside from that, like the culture changes that they demonstrated, they had a live stream that showed off some of the changes that they have in beta, and everything looks really cool. Like the ability to play Charlemagne, that really kind of signals the beginning of the Dark Middle Ages, that kind of time period. Pretty excited about that. I don't know about you. You're big into you like the Sons of Abraham, whatever.
I was a big fan of the Khazars even before Sons of Abraham.
They do seem to have won.
An insanely weird. What?
I said they seem to have won. The Jews.
John Stewart's real name is Leibowitz.
It's true.
Doing pretty well. You are broadcasting over a media empire.
Oh my god.
They do have Israel still in existence.
That's true.
Right. So that's the last big.
The Jews are winning.
That's the last big piece of news. Actually, is the Islamic State has targeted the Pope.
Did they really say that? I thought you made that up.
No, they're fucking. It's on CNN, dude. Like you said pick
hope
a news headline.
I said I hope they get them.
Like, okay, and I went to CNN.com and I picked the stupidest thing.
If they get the fucking Pope, they'll be the coolest dude since Napoleon. If they like, just go burn down the Vatican. Way to go, guys.
The Islamic State has targeted everyone who's not a Sunni Muslim. The
No,
Pope is like a tiny subset.
Here's the thing:
so
they're very geographically specific right now. Yeah.
They are looking for Tikrit.
This is our geopolitics podcast.
They are looking for Tikrit.
Geopolitics we can get into. Be careful.
They are looking for Istanbul, and they are looking at the Pope. Like, that's their big three right now. So if you were Pope Francis, like...
If I'm me, I throw him the Pope. I'm like, here you go. Chew on this for a little while. Let us deal with fucking Putin. And then I'll give you the Pope. I'm going to go deal with Putin. Fix Europe. And then we'll come back and kill all y'all.
So here's the thing, though, is like the thing that really gets me about this whole situation is the fact that it has total relevance if we're talking about Crusader Kings 2, because that's the last time anybody used the fucking word caliphate.
Caliphate, yeah.
Oh, no, Bin Laden used it as well.
No, well,
yeah, he aspired to.
He's dead.
ISIS claims it.
So,
yeah.
But no, that like they are serious. Like they are taking territory.
Yeah, I don't think anyone denies when you're cutting heads off on television that you're serious.
Right, but they're taking
these guys.
territory.
Whoa, these gentlemen are just eating popcorn.
Here's the thing: is like Al Qaeda never took territory, right? They're just an organization that operated and they attacked.
They would have if they could. They tried to do it through their proxies, the Taliban, and got partway. But their goal was to still their stated goal originally was to establish a caliphate.
Sure.
Yeah.
But they never did anything about.
Well, they were very geographically isolated, and their goal was originally Afghanistan. Yeah.
Islamic State owns significant portions of eastern Syria and western Iraq.
Yeah, because nobody took them seriously, and they were smart, and they're not dummies.
Well, and I'm not here to discuss all of that, really.
And they're also basically the former Iraqi army.
The point that I'm trying to make, though,
that we disbanded, by the way.
Crusader Kings 2 is basically real life. And so everybody should be excited about this new DLC that's coming out. and looking forward to it because, I'm pretty sure that France is going to be dominated by a man named Charlemagne any day now.
That's going to be me. I'm going to be Napoleon.
I don't know.
Except
great.
I'll call him Napoopleon.
Napoopleon.
Yes.
That's a fucking savvy PR move.
Kings too.
Napoopleon.
Napoopleon the Great.
And I'll sack
so-
the Vatican.
So in terms of the podcast version of...
Can we pee break?
Show,
I have to pee
that
really
about
bad.
wraps it up. Yes, we're going to fucking get there, dude. Fucking hold it for a second. So that about wraps it up for the podcast version of the show. If you are watching live, all 21 of you, how about that? Stick around. We're going to take a quick 5-minute intermission so everybody can get right with themselves, and then we'll be back. We have some more news to talk about. We'll also take your questions if you have any. We can talk about Eve and other stupid nerd stuff if you like. We'll be around for, I don't know, like another 30 minutes or so. But we are going to take a quick 5-minute break, so we'll be right back. If you can throw it back up to that other image that you have there.
It's up.